Welcome to Quack Co, the board game channel where every video is 10 minutes or less guaranteed.
Or
and today we're talking about Hidden Leaders, specifically the brand new expansion Forgotten Legends. So, Hidden Leaders. Hidden Leaders is a party style game.
Yep.
With a little bit of social deduction and a lot of like fun card play and manipulation on top of the beautiful artwork, if I do say so.
Absolutely.
Myself. The core functionality of Hidden Leaders is going to be a game where you're slowly trying to play down cards that have different unique abilities from your hand into the tableau in front of you. You'll be gathering those cards. They form what's called your party. And that party will start manipulating these different icons here on top of the board.
Yes.
You're going to have one of various type of faction cards.
Yep. These are
you're going to be
cards.
one of these Hidden Leaders. And you have various allegiances, like red and blue, or blue and green, or red and green, or red and black. And you're aiming to make these little tokens end up in the appropriate locations once you trigger endgame so that you can resolve a victory. If you happen to be on the black faction, you want both the red and the green in the end zone. If you happen to be on the blue faction, you want them on the same space or next to each other. If you happen to be in the red faction, you want them at least 2 steps ahead of the hill tribes. And if you happen to be in the green faction, you want the Imperial Army to be 2 steps behind the green tribes. And if you're not in the black faction is going to trump all of the others because it means darkness is descending onto the land. And you, so like a situation like this, black would still be the victor. But a situation like this, you'd then have green closing in the gates. So, the core gameplay of Hidden Leaders is going to resolve you playing down cards that give you special abilities. Those abilities are typically going to be things that let you flip your own cards over, let you gather resources, let you manipulate tokens, let you screw with other players' cards in their own stockpile, and let you potentially reveal a little bit of information about who and what your other players around the table are gunning for. Then you continue playing like that until you trigger endgame. In a 2-player game, endgame is going to be triggered when there's 8 heroes in front of you on the board. That number gets lower depending on the number of people that you're playing with, but those face-up heroes are what's going to close the door. So you might want to be flipping your cards over as the game progresses so that you have a little bit more time to not only mitigate and control this, but also secure your victory, because multiple players could be on the same faction.
Absolutely.
You and I could both be going for green, so we agree that green should be in the lead.
Yep.
Now the only question is, who's going to win if we close the door there? The person who has the highest number of supporters of the given faction win the game's over.
Correct.
So the more cards I have unrevealed, the more hidden cards I have, the more cards I have in my party or my tableau, the more likely I am to actually win. Now, Forgotten Legends. Forgotten Legends is going to be incorporating a few new mechanics.
So a couple of the different things there's going to be a new faction, and there's only going to be a few cards that actually mitigate or move this around, and that is the Guardian faction. So you're going to have a new token on the board, which in theory means nothing. Like, it's just a new faction. What is it? It's actually the best, because there are only 5 different cards for each different color, so there's a total of 20 cards going into your big deck, and if you play that, every time one comes out, you're just going to move it forward by 2 spaces.
Yeah, you can see the little Guardian symbol on each one of these, so there's 20 different opportunities to start maneuvering or shifting the Guardian around the board.
Yep, and if you have a Guardian, and the Guardian is the one that's the farthest forward on the track, and everything else is forward, then you automatically win. Yeah. It doesn't matter if anybody else has their thing set up, Guardian trumps all.
Now, it's kind of interesting, because in this game, in Hidden Leaders, oftentimes you'll find yourself manipulating tokens that you just don't, like, you're not too worried about it.
Who cares?
Yeah, I might squeeze red up here, like, if green's here, I might put red there, not because I want them to be there, not because I'm on the blue team, but because they're both perceptionally closer to black, which is actually where I want them to be, or because I need red to go ahead and pass it up to actually secure victory for itself.
Or because the secondary thing on my card allows me to make one of your cards get flipped over,
That's also
and
true.
I need you not to win right now because I'm not close to getting what I need done.
And so adding a third point of interest, an area that starts manipulating or shifting tokens around the game, does this thing to Hidden Leaders where you just start manipulating things even more so and for the sake of it. You're just rushing the Guardian to the front because you know someone else has to deal with that because you're pretty sure they don't want to lose to the Guardian.
Exactly.
And they're now concerned that you're the Guardian player.
And there's a couple other things that it's adding into the game. They're also adding in these relics, so these special items here, and they will have charges on them, which are what these little tokens are. And so you'll get to use this particular one. You can use 3 different times. So you get to draw a card from the bar and or from the deck of burial areas here. So it allows you to be able to grab other leaders that have already expired or new leaders that you want to have brought into the game, or heroes, excuse me. And then once that's done, then that item is no longer useful. There is a mechanic where you can bring it back into play if you wanted, but I think that's pretty cool. It's a neat little addition that gives you some extra variability. There's also corruptions, which come forward, and there's different tokens, and by having the appropriate number of items face-up people in your party, you can just claim this corruption at any point in time. Now on the front side here, it just has one little option. On the back side, it actually tells you what it does. So this would actually swap a blue card into a black card, or a black card into a blue card. Yeah. So it tells you, and that means at the end of the game with your face-up leader, instead of this being a blue card, oh, congratulations, now it's a black card. Because maybe you needed more of those black factions to win the game.
Or maybe you didn't and you picked it up anyway.
And accidentally did the wrong thing with it.
Now it's not helping you.
There's also some backlash here, which is pretty cool. So if you are using a backlash token, if someone kills one of your heroes and puts them in the graveyard, you can now backlash and kill one of their heroes, or their heroes as well, which I think is pretty cool. So there's some
unless you're playing the Undead faction, then the Undead faction actually works really well out of the graveyard.
Yeah, pretty great then.
Basically, this expansion is just a no-brainer. Add in, shuffle all the cards
100%.
together, and just play with it. It's
Enjoy
good.
it.
It doesn't make the game substantially more complicated.
No, definitely not.
Just mixes it up, and honestly gives me a little bit more of what I like about Hidden Leaders, which is shuffling through this deck, having a whole pile of cool cards and cool abilities and cool characters to experiment with.
Yep.
And just watching as we slowly sort of deduce and manipulate and screw over
each other,
everyone else around the table.
That's always the best part about Hidden Leaders, is the fun parts of that.
Yeah, that's true. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Make sure you follow that link down below to go check out this sweet little indie project. Give them some support. Give them some love. They've done a cool thing with this little game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Whatever the case,
Whatever you do,
that's not how we do these.
no.
Remember,
Do the important thing.
less time watching
Is more time playing.
means more time playing. We'll see you next time.
Bye.